Hello and welcome to the last episode of Out at CDs. So if you've made it this far, you're a legend.
This week's episode is going to be a little bit different because this time it's Nick's turn to get stranded out at sea. So it means we're going to be running it. Let's see how that goes. But the main reason for this pre-credits intro is that we have some news.
Which is that we have a brand new single coming out on the 2nd of April. Yeah.
Scream if you want to go louder.
It's called Maybe You Know Better, and it is our first release in 6 months, so we cannot wait.
There's a Spotify pre-save link in the bio and on the main podcast page. We'd really appreciate it if you saved it. It really helps us out, and it means you get it as soon as it's out.
But yeah, anyway, enough of that. Let's get started with the season finale. And with me,
Yes.
What's your favorite album?
What's your
favorite album? 1, 2, 3. A meme that made you laugh and then a book to read. You better pick somebody who can keep you company. Cause we're stranded out of CDs.
Boom! We didn't even need a pre-recorded theme tune. We could have just done that. Good afternoon, everybody. How are we doing?
Good.
very well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
Passing the baton over this week.
yeah.
To all three. We're taking a piece of a baton each.
We're going to do trial
Baton
by jury this week, I think, is what we're going to be doing.
God
Yeah,
help us.
sure.
So it's next week to be stranded out at sea. Yeah. Whoa.
So the first thing we're going to do is take our guesses as what Nick's albums are going to be. So Matt, do you want to go first?
Yes, I do. And it's 1-1 so far, isn't it? Not that I'm competitive at all, but I'm going to go with Radiohead in Rainbows.
No.
Nice. Mark?
I am going to go with Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I'm going to go with All Rise by Blue.
I hate you so much.
We're back to, we've had a week off and
Yeah, literally.
Do you know what? It's so funny. We did 1 week where Ben was guessing, and I'd already forgotten. That was still a shock to me.
I was like, we're on brand here. We've hit like Nick's music taste to a T, and then Ben comes through with that. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what?
Rise by Blue, 2001.
They're a band, or I think I always get two of their hits confused. Is it like all right, I rest my case?
Yep.
Does that still have one for the money and the free rides?
Different song.
that's All Rise.
Oh,
And
is
then
it?
you got the One Love for the Mother's Pride. One Love.
All right, let's not read into it. I did it as a joke.
Wow.
Unless you're listening, Blue, and if you are, we're big fans.
You've made your bed, fly in it.
Okay, shall we pass the baton over to you, Nick?
Okay, so I'm gonna go with my first album.
You're running this interview yourself. We didn't even say it.
So my first album is, I've had to divide it into sections. This has been so hard for me, and especially after going after all of you guys,
Yeah.
made me think about it even more. I've gone for a classic, and I've gone for Abbey Road by the Beatles.
Oh, wow. Wow, what a record.
Interesting.
I mean, that's the first Beatles that we've had in it.
Yeah, which is surprising. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. I
Oh, wow.
was I literally was endlessly trying to decide which Beatles album to have and decided for none.
Nothing. I don't want any
It's
of.
they're not worth it.
It's like Mark's playing Golden Balls and he's doing like swap or steal.
Yeah.
That's savage. That the one that went viral where the woman
Oh.
literally completely snakes the guy for the whole
Horrible.
time. Actually awful.
Nightmares.
Imagine like the green room after that though.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Okay, so talk to us, man. Abbey Road. Why?
Yeah, so I wanted to go with a classic album. It'll all make sense once all my three albums have been said.
Sure.
Mhm.
The trifecta.
Yeah, you know. So I just feel like I needed something that had stood the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
First of all,
Dig at you, Ben.
yeah.
Ben picked a couple of quite modern albums last week, and I
that's
credit
true.
him for it, and Nick's just shat on him about it.
I would say that. So, in terms of kind of starting an album, "Comes Together," I think is probably one of the most sexiest songs that's ever been written.
Agreed.
Like just that bass line is ridiculously sexy.
Yeah.
Like it's all I can describe it as. So good. I remember also always loving the song, but then Arctic did it at the Olympics closing ceremony, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think, and then they re-released it and stuff. And I just remember like hearing it again, and it was definitely like during that Arctic Monkeys phase that you were saying last week, Ben, about AM. And it was like, this just is so fit.
Hearing it with a
Like,
good
it's
drummer as well always helps.
Yeah.
I feel
Always
like
helps.
Mark might have told me this. Is it Come Together? Was it originally meant to be really slow or way faster? I can't remember. Isn't there a story?
Yeah, there's a few songs where this is kind of the case, and I think it is the case of this one that it was meant to be like a fast sort of rock.
Shall I do a Nick Gartland host fact check while you use?
Yeah, please do.
And then also after Come Together, I feel that Something was also possibly one of the best love songs ever written.
Yeah, man.
And it's a George Harrison as well.
Yeah.
And I love like,
George Harrison.
you know what I mean?
amazing.
Yeah.
Like he's got that, and then he's got Here Comes the Sun, which is like it's on the second side of the record. Because I know I have the record downstairs, and I Want You, She's So Heavy finishes the first side. And that is one of the best finishes
Yeah,
of
man.
an A-side ever.
It's
I've got my
so
fact
dark.
check. Here we go.
Go on.
Which is that it was originally faster. Or the only thing I've managed to find is it says it's on BeatlesBooks.com, which sounds legit to me. And it says John himself explained in 1969, Come Together changed at a session. We said, let's slow it down.
And you know what? Thank God they did.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, that's my first album.
What an album.
And the Scousers.
So, Nick, moving on swiftly to your book.
Oh, Ben's remembered.
There we go. I told you, it's all up here.
So my book, I'm going to go with another classic. Actually, I'm going to go with Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte.
Wow.
Wow, that takes me back.
Yeah,
to
so
really-
we had to read this at drama. We did it at drama school, and it's just, I think for me, it's for me this book that's been around for hundreds of years. It's like it's a classic, but also is a page turner, and I don't feel like you find that with a lot of classics.
No.
You've never read the history of the world.
Yeah.
Mark, tell him.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Do you know when you say when you say it's a page turner, do you think that could be something that would maybe featured on As the Page Turns?
As the page turns.
I mean, potentially.
I struggled
We'll
reading
see.
the Biff, Chip and Kipper, let alone.
Yes, yeah, no, that's true. We'll check it
Can
out.
we have?
We'll check it out in post edit. Yeah.
So, Nick, tell us a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a bit of everything, I feel. It's like a love story, it's gothic, it's mysterious. And also as well, if I'm
Yeah.
stranded at sea, I quite like the fact that it's just set in Yorkshire in the north.
Sure.
And it's just like on the moors and everything. And it gives me a bit of this like rural like greenery when I can't see any greenery about on
Yeah.
my raft or yacht or whatever I'm on.
You're not stranded if you're on a yacht. I will say it again. It's a raft.
What if I've run out of petrol?
On a raft, you can't run out of petrol.
Do you know how to sail the yacht?
We'll wait and see.
I imagine sailing a yacht is a little bit just like steering a car.
Yeah, what kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
yacht
You're not
are we talking
sailing,
about?
are you?
You can't drive a car either.
I actually have a bit of a confession to make about
Go
Jane
on.
Eyre.
Did you guys have a fling?
We studied it for our one of our A-level pieces, and I was by this point totally uninterested in the subject and was failing miserably at kind of getting everything done for it. And we had an essay due on it, and it was the day before it was due in, and I'd done about a paragraph, and I called my mum at break time crying, being like, I'm never going to get this done. I've really messed up. My mum wrote the entire essay for me that night.
Hello, and welcome to
As the page turns.
With Matt
And Ben
This week, Jane Eyre
by Charlotte Bronte
via the Pinterest account.
of That Bitch Bertha.
Jane! Jane!
God already. God
Right.
already. Where on earth would I wear that?
You could wear it on the moon.
That seems impractical. How would I even breathe on the moon?
I would read to you, my Jane. Jane! Jane, where have you gone? I am bereft and without my Jane, and I shall sink into roguery.
Who knows? I am with my cousins.
I knew it. Did you leave because of my attic wife? Is that what this is about? My attic wife?
Static wife. Jane Eyre is fucking... If that was Jane Eyre, if that was legit Jane Eyre, I can see why Nick's all over it.
Let's move on then to our second album, Nicholas.
Right, boys, you're gonna have to bear with me on this one.
Oh, fucking
Um,
hell.
So, again, like I said, categories. I've got a classic,
I-
and then the third one will be later revealed. I'm about to lose all music integrity
Oh no.
that I've ever had.
Oh no.
Um,
We've done so well as a band so far.
yeah, I know. So
All
I wanted to
Rise
go
by
for
Blue.
like
Imagine if you got it right.
yuck.
Go on, Nick. Go on.
It is a guilty pleasure. So it's basically I wanted something 70s, 80s, feel good, disco, pop. And
It's
so I was
gonna
like,
be ABBA.
oh,
Yeah.
I wanted some ABBA, but you know what's better than that? The Mamma Mia film soundtrack.
Oh, get in the bin. Get in the bin.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness me. That is an absolute
Right,
curveball,
I-
Nicholas.
I-
Oh,
in
fucking
my
hell.
episode, I said you had the best musical brain
Yeah.
I think I've ever met, and you give me this next week.
I could no. So my explanation is if I had a film to watch on my deathbed,
That's not an
it would be
explanation.
Mamma Mia. It is an explanation, right? Nothing in that film makes me feel anything other than complete joy. It is a pure joy to watch Mamma Mia. It's a pure joy
Do
to
you
watch
skip?
Pierce
Do you skip SOS?
No, because I love what is better than hearing Pierce Brosnan singing SOS. In matter of fact, I put it on when I went for my run today, and that was in my 3rd kilometer. Never ran faster. But it's just, I think, yeah, I was toying between getting the ABBA Gold 50th, which was 4 hours long. But I was like, you know what? I actually just want the Mamma Mia soundtrack. I want Meryl Streep. I want Julie Walters. I want Pierce Brosnan to sing their hearts out at me.
Fair.
It's a feel good.
Different strokes
Do you
for
know
different
what, Nick?
folks.
I think I can understand that, to be fair. I do think ABBA as a band are
Sure.
I would say
Amazing.
like one of the
And,
best
like-
pop writers ever to
Yeah,
exist.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
so musical. Like I grew up thinking ABBA was just cheesy pop, which it is, of course. But like it's so musical as well. Like the chord changes
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the song
Especially
Amazing.
in the Mamma Mia
amazing.
soundtrack.
It's just so good, guys.
I don't think anyone's
you-
got an issue with
I
ABBA.
actually-
No.
I don't think
no.
we've not got an issue with ABBA. We'll just clarify. It's just the Mamma Mia soundtrack really was not what I was expecting.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm putting myself on a real low point here in kind of integrity. I just thought I'd be honest with you all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I've not got anything to lose. I'm stranded.
Out at sea.
Do you want to know my favorite track?
No, but you're going to give it us.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to give it you. It's Take a Chance on Me, sung by Julie Walters. But specifically, I want the film. I want the film version where she
Yeah, it's
starts a
super tricky.
cappella because it's just so golden.
If you change your mind, I'm the first in line. Honey, I'm still free. Take a chance on me.
Okay, so we're moving on quite swiftly, hopefully, to your meme.
Right. You know, I spend a lot of time on social media.
Loves it.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of the memes, as Gemma Collins would say.
Fucking hell.
That being a meme in its own right. It was between three, but
That's
I think
so
I'm going to
meta.
go with
Meta memes.
Meta memes with Nick Gartland. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with my heart and my gut, and it's gonna be Davina going, "You fancy another one? Hey, do you want another one? Do you want another one?" And she does it 3 times, and it's a video that has been like cut together, and it just works in every single scenario to the point that it's now in the Out at Sea set for the encore.
That is true.
I mean, also, listeners who actually do follow us on Instagram will now realize that the social medias are all absolutely run by Nick, because I feel like that meme has made it onto quite a few of our stories.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, mine and then Mark's "You're joking" has been there as well. So I'm just trying to keep with the times. You know what I mean? TikTok's dominating the world. Like, got to get those memes out.
They are.
TikTok is quite a force of nature, isn't it?
It's just another world. I still don't understand it. I'm trying to get my head around it. It's amazing and horrendous at the same time.
We were saying with that because obviously like the algorithm on it's so new. It's that as soon as you go on it, you're like, if you look at a video for more than like a second, you're like, oh my god, my whole feed is going to be filled with this now. Like,
yeah,
you need to scroll. You need to scroll quick.
You've got to be very careful what you like.
Were there any runners up, Nick?
My runners up were Ainsley Harriott. When he interviews, basically, there's this old woman who is like living on her own, and I think this morning come into her house and basically say, "Oh, like, you're an unsung hero. Here's loads of things." And Ainsley Harriott comes in with a pan really loud and goes, "Why, hello, Jill." And it's like, she's absolutely petrified, like, absolutely terrified. It's actually amazing.
I haven't seen that.
He's such a character.
I'm going to send it you. He's so good. And then just to throw in my last one, because I have to mention it, was the Paul Rudd one. I was like, "Hey, look at us. Hey, just look at us."
Who'd have thought it?
Who'd have thought?
Me.
Not me.
See, that's if we were going to guess memes that you'd have done, that would have been my guess. That would have always been my guess.
Do you know what I thought you might have done, because of how much mainly me, Nick, and Ben have spoken about it, because I nearly picked it as well, is the Steve Carell no God no from The Office. But I don't know if it counts. I was kind of, does that count? Because it's not really like, it's from a TV series.
Well, me and Nick have said for a long time that Steve Carell gifts from The Office work in The Office gifts are always the best option.
Well, that's.
I feel like it'd be accepted if you sent it to work. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think if work received a Steve Carell gift, they'd be like, fair.
Well, do you know what's nice is now, since I literally only started watching it like in November, and I'm on like the last season now, is that now you literally, I don't even have to think about any other kind of gifts other than Office gifts now, because there is a gift for everything.
Yeah, man.
It's just so good.
What a program.
Do you want another one? Hey, fancy another one? Do you want another one?
Okay, Nick, take us on. Lead us into the final.
Okay, so I feel like this, if you know me, it is going to be one of the albums. And Matt, you are a winner.
Yes!
No!
Because it is In Rainbows by Radiohead.
Yeah, man.
Boom! Oh. I mean, I got really worried then, because I thought I really knew you, and then you worked out Mamma Mia, so I was really,
Well, that was my point. I was trying to lead you off the scent, you see, and save basically the best till last, and build up my music credibility again. So
I'm jealous, to be fair, mate.
Yeah. So I think for me, I could have easily sat here and said In Rainbows, OK Computer, and Kid A, and I'd actually have no problem whatsoever.
Sure.
It would be quite solemn and lonely at times.
But most of the time. But I'd make it through. I think In Rainbows, for me, the reason why is because everything that they've released prior, so by that time they'd released, obviously Pablo Honey, The Bends, OK Computer, Kid A, and then like Hail to the Thief. It is just the album that I feel brings all of that together, like 100%. You've got even just the start of 15 Step, and
like whatever they use for that. Like, it must be like a drum machine or something. I don't know.
What a track!
Like,
what a track!
But like that track is like Kid A, and then you go straight into Body Snatchers, which is like rock. That's more kind of, I guess, OK Computer. And then I think it's Nude, and then you've got like this solemn kind of like Tom York exquisite vocal, and then my favorite track of all time, Weird Fishes, which I can only categorize as the sound that Tom York makes in the first like 5 seconds, where he just goes, it's just so good. It says that song I can categorically say I can listen to in any mood and it's suitable.
Do you know what? With that album, I hadn't massively like listened loads and loads to that album specifically. And then when we were in lockdown 1 and me and Mark were together, I remember one night we put on the From the Basement, which is so of that album. And do you know the moment when you really get Weird Fishes is when you see, I mean, obviously this is on a podcast, but you see Tom York's head wobble the whole way through the beginning of it.
Yeah,
and his head just doesn't stay. It's like a bit like a fish when you take a fish out, it's just like swinging around. And it just, I was like, I just get it. I just totally get it.
They're on another league. And it is one of those bands that a lot of people say, oh, don't get it, like why and all this. And I was like that for a while, and then I saw them at Glastonbury, and this was kind of just before I started kind of really getting into them, and seeing them confirmed it for me. I was like,
yeah, sure.
I would say probably the best alt rock band ever.
Yeah,
I think that's
Radio. I think Radiohead, are a bit, and I'll put this out as an honest kind of like how actually what's the word, like I'll admit it honestly, is I think Radiohead are a bit like beer in the fact that I definitely pretended to like them more than I did for a bit of period.
Absolutely.
And I can't remember the turning point, but now I fucking love it.
You said before, Matt, that you almost need your Radiohead shaman, don't you? You need someone who's gonna
you do.
We both had the same one, I think, right?
Yes, yeah. Big shout out to our friend Lewis.
Big shout out. And I remember when Lewis was originally trying to get us into it, and I remember us having a conversation where we were like, I just feel like I can't get into it, but we just need to give it more.
So big shout out to all of the Radiohead shamans.
Mine was.
It's a long road.
Mine was back in high school. My friend Ollie. I mean, he might not be listening to this, but shout out anyway. He was a massive fan of Radiohead, and he always used to talk about it. And I was like, I don't really get it. He's like, just listen to Fake Plastic Trees. He's like, just listen to Fake Plastic Trees.
That's
that was my gateway. That was how I got into it.
Yeah. What was everyone else's gateway?
Mark, you were my Radiohead shaman. You were literally. I remember you play. And actually, I know we had a bit of a joke when I was trying to introduce a friend of the band, Katie Pearson, got a shout out corner here today, innit? And I was making a playlist of like 20 songs that you would do to introduce someone, and which actually came back pretty similar-ish, but maybe 2 or 3 tracks. But Nick was pissing himself because Nick was texting me and was like, "You've got like 7 tracks from the Bends," and I was like, "Mate." But I literally had a moment when I was listening to the Bends one day, and I must have been pretty sad. And I just was like, and I just remember just being like, oh my gosh.
Sure, I think that's the thing. I think the thing that sometimes annoys me with people when they talk about Radiohead is like, oh, they're so depressing. And it's like, you're not listening to them enough to kind of get that. Like for me, I find that like listening to the Bends, yes, if I'm sad, it can make me sad.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, and I just think like Tom York, man, it is just a joke. Like Videotape at the end of obviously in Rainbows, like there's that whole thing of the fact that it sounds like it's in 4/4, but in actual fact he's literally off the beat all the time, and his head's just like wobbling trying to find the beat. And like so many times when they've done it live, they've had to restart it because he just can't do it. The guys, they're just legends.
Do you think in today's world, in today's music world, a band like Radiohead with the musical complexity that they have makes it as big as they did?
Nah. Actually, no. I'd like to think. I'm not going to do that. I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I'd really like to think so.
They I think they were just perfect time. Like they hit with the first album, Pablo Honey. Like they hit such a kind of alt sound and old rock sound that got them really popular. and it just kind of
Yeah.
happened to be that they were insane.
And they
geniuses.
hit a time as well where people still liked long form art, right? People still liked full records, and they'd buy a full
Yeah.
record. So you'd buy it and you'd
Yeah.
invest. Whereas now,
Yeah.
people like such short forms of art.
I think what's also crazy for me as well, like the level of complexity and madness that they were bringing stuff out. I think in today's world, people like Jacob Collier,
Yeah.
like you look at the stuff he brings out and go,
Yeah.
okay, that's so left field that most people aren't gonna buy into it, even though it's amazing and it's crazy. Like, and although that's maybe changing slightly, but like that Radiohead stuff was just as mad and complex as that, if not more so. And more, but people just went crazy for it.
Yeah, man.
And like it was so mainstream.
I think it was that thing that we said before as well. Like they're so good at, you can adapt their songs to whatever mood you're in. That like
Yeah.
I think it's different. As great as Jacob Collier is, and in my room is potentially going to be one of my records at one point. But it although it's musically incredible, you don't get the same kind of up and down as you get with some of their tracks.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Well done, lads. I think that's the most serious, and I think we've gained back some musical clout after 3 episodes of absolutely ripping the piss out of each other. So
Yeah,
well done.
fair.
And also just on
Mamma
a
Mia
personal level,
soundtrack.
I needed to get that out after Mamma Mia, because I just
Oh.
knew that all of those friends that I've said from day one, Radiohead are the best band ever.
Yeah.
For them to hear that now are going to be like, what's going on?
I love that if you've got it on an iPod rather than like something else, or on your phone on that island, that you're getting like, you might have shuffle and get like
15 step.
weird fishes into money.
It's a
money,
gimme.
Sick.
I think one of the funniest run-ins from song to song is on in Sergeant Pepper's when you get is it With and Without You, the really
the George Harrison
like
one.
with the sitar and it has this huge ending,
The
like
big
this
swell.
crazy psychedelic swell,
Yeah.
and then it goes into boom
Boom.
boom like when I'm 64 like Paul McCartney. Boom, boom, boom. It's so funny.
Yeah, so let's move on to our final bit, if I can remember rightly, which I think is the
Your
musician.
musician.
Ah, it is.
Go on.
So I've had big think about this. Obviously, I've said Tom York, but I feel like he's too old to take.
Whoa,
I need someone kind
ageist.
of my age. Yeah. Now I love you, Tom York. If you ever hear this, you won't.
We're pretty old in comparison to Nick, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true.
Speak
for yourself, Grandad.
I told Nick about going on a lads' holiday to Magaluf when I was 18 the other day, and he said I was in year 8. Jokes.
Okay,
I
carry on,
think
Nick.
I'm gonna. So last week Ben took Harry Styles,
Yup.
and I was close to taking Harry Styles as well. I think I'm gonna take Declan McKenna.
Sure.
Of
So
course.
first of all, he's a year younger than me, so we've got plenty of years stranded on that raft.
First time you're the older
So-
one.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, I love his music. I mean, obviously, I've not chosen his album. Sorry, but I think that he's just a sound guy. Like his gigs are just always
sure.
great. He is lively. He's left. He just. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got a liberal mind.
Oh, political.
Like,
All right.
yeah, I'd want to talk about the world a little bit.
Well, I
if I'm
guess
stranded.
if you're stranded, you're going to have to at some point
Yeah.
start thinking
And
about
I know,
running the world.
I know he's in a similar mindset.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to take Morrissey, am I? So like,
That is special. I know
do you know what I mean?
I know some.
Someone's going over the raft if and taking Morrissey.
I mean, to be fair as well, mate, is you actually you never know, because of his affiliation, you might be able to bring like a PS5 and the new FIFA. Do you know what I mean? Best
Exactly.
FIFA,
Yeah,
one of the
man.
best FIFA anthems ever, maybe.
Yeah,
really.
and he literally wrote that when he was 15.
Yeah,
Like the guy's a genius, and both of his albums that he's released are just so good. But I think, yeah, he's just sound. He's very kind of like with everything at the moment. Like obviously I'm on social media a lot, like I said, and he's very active on it, and he's quite good with his memes and stuff. He just seems like a good laugh, and he's a vegan as well, I believe. So I feel like he'd be quite good with food.
Pick up the veggie massive.
Big up.
We're stranded at sea, so maybe it's just kind of like seaweed and kale and whatever.
I think you'd very quickly both stop being a vegan if you were stranded at sea. Hate to say it, man. As a vegetarian, I think that's out the window, man.
Yeah, we can diss it. We can diss it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. You can throw that.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Declan McKenna wrote Brazil at 15, and Mark couldn't even write his coursework on Jane Eyre, so.
Okay, it's time to play
Head, torso, legs.
Okay, so this is hard. This is very hard, actually. Okay, I'm gonna go for the legs of Matt because of the speed. I'm gonna go for the torso of Ben.
Yeah, sure, understandable.
I feel like you've got a very strong core. You need it with your stranded at sea.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Man. Yeah,
like,
fair.
Who knows when it's
Bad swimmer, but okay.
That's true.
Yeah, fair. And then I'm gonna go for the head of Mark because I just want to get inside that producing mind.
Yeah.
To be fair, I'd pay some good money to get inside Mark's head and just see what is going on.
Yeah.
I think it's just, if anything,
It's a mystery.
to learn a lot and also to stand back and watch it like a feature film.
Like a show.
You'd literally be like, oh, so this is what is going on. Yeah. Oh,
No wonder he couldn't do his Jane Eyre coursework. Jesus.
Is that it? Is that
That's
everything?
it. We're done.
That's it. You just need to recap me.
Oh, so Nick, just recap.
Oh yeah. Hey, Nick, what was your recap?
Okay, so my 3 albums are Abbey Road by the Beatles,
Yep.
the Mamma Mia film soundtrack or cast recording if you want to get picky,
You're a joke.
and the In Rainbows by Radiohead.
Yeah, man.
The In Rainbows.
My book is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte.
And what was your meme?
My meme was I decided with, hey, do you want another one? Davina McCall on Big Brother.
And then your musician to be stranded at sea with.
My musician was Declan McKenna.
There we
There we
go.
go.
that's it.
How do you think we did, Nick?
I think you guys did quite well, to be fair. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Who did best? Not this competition.
I'm not gonna decide between the 3 of you.
Who
Come on.
did best?
You could pick a third of each of our presenters.
No comment.
Right, we're going.
Let's go home.
This is it.
Have it.
Time to say
Goodbye,
goodbye.
everyone.
We love you all so much. Thanks for listening.
Enjoy the single.
Peace out.
Yes.
Woo.
Quit playing all these games.
Thank you so much for listening to the last episode of our Out It CDs podcast. And as we said, we have a brand new single out on the 2nd of April, and there's a pre-save link in the bio below. It takes 2 minutes, it really helps us out, and it means you get the single as soon as it comes out. There's also links to our socials and all our music there too. But most of all, stay safe and look after each other. Much love, the Out at Sea boys.